come to the bold analysis. The senior citizens and vulnerable communities, families, are asking President William Ruto to address what looks like a dying project, Inua Jamii. Do you know that for the last 6 months, the beneficiaries of Inua Jamii cash transfer are yet to receive a penny from that project? The elderly, people that benefited from that project are supposed to receive a monthly stipend of 2,000 Kenyan shillings. But what has happened all of a sudden? The last time it was received was in the month of June. So July, we were so busy with politics. Then August, we went to the polls. So they missed July, August, and then from there, we are into December, not yet. What is shocking me is, this is a project that have been here for the last 8 years. So what suddenly changed? Let's not trivialize this matter, because I have seen people taking a very narrow argument on, trivializing the people who voted for William Ruto by that time are the ones that should be crying. We need to acknowledge that, irregardless of who you voted, when government fails, when this administration fails, we all fail. When it's successful, we are all successful. Now, the elderly people in my village of Masumbi have not received it. The same as the elderly men and women in the middle of Nyeri County. Listen to this.
Ile shida kubwa sana ni hiyo ambao wengine wameongea hapa, nimeisikia. Shida ya hii pesa ambayo tumeahidiwa kupata. Mimi huwa naenda Ruiru. Na ukienda Ruiru, hata unafikiria ni mwisho wa mwezi, sasa unachukua matatu kwenda Ruiru. Ukienda huko unaambiwa haijatumwa. Sasa saa nyingine hata nikuboro uliboro pesa ya matatu. Unarudi tena. Unamuuliza huyu, unaweza nikupatie simu yangu uniambie ikija? Anasema hapana mama, lakini wewe jaribu mwezi, katikati ya mwezi. So unakaa ukirudi huko na huko na shida zako nyingi, unarudi unaambiwa bado. Na tena unakuta kuna wengine hapo ambao wamekaalishwa hapo pengine kutoa masaa mengi. So vile suggestion hii ambayo tumempatiwa ya pesa, tujue ni mwisho wa mwezi, ni mwisho wa miezi miwili ama ni lini. Ya pili, tutumiwe pesa. Tuko na simu, wengine wetu tuko na simu. Tutumiwe pesa ambayo itakuja vile pesa zingine zinakuja.
Ndio tunasema hii malipo ya wazee ifanywe rahisi. Kutuma mtu kwa KCB na hizo laini zote ni ngumu. Mbona tusirahisishe? Na kwa sababu tunajua namba zao za simu na wengi wao wako na namba za simu, watumiwe kwa namba za simu. Na watu kama Safari kama wale wengine wahakikishe hizi pesa hazikatwi, kwa sababu ni jukumu letu sisi wote kusaidiana. Tuhakikishe kwamba kuna package ya wazee ambao services zao za hizi pesa wanazipokea free.
The Social Protection Funds cushions these families and help them to meet their needs even at that advanced age. And what puzzles me is, what's the level of ignorance, or what exactly is it that there seems to be no official communication from the ministry or Department of Ministry on what exactly happened? Because I think it falls under the Ministry of Gender and Affirmative Action and Gender Affairs, led by Aisha Jumwa. I have seen Citizen running that story. They've ran it twice. The first one was done in September. I think they also did another one this time. But there is no communication from any other office that is supposed to address this matter. And the silence is worrying. Let me tell you, what's even affecting the beneficiaries much is the fact that you know you're supposed to receive. No one is telling you whether you're going to get it or not. So you spend money, they trek to go to the office of chiefs so that they can get it. And then you go there, there is no communication. When you try to ask what, and of course, people are even wondering, why do the elderly need to go to the office of the chief to get that money? Nowadays, why don't it just be sent in their phones? Because I understand that really, but of course there were also people who zingekwa simu ya mzee alafu wana transfer because ndio anatoleanga mzee. Listen to and these people are going through problems. That's what we need to acknowledge, that apart from money being used for other things, these vulnerable communities or group are going through problems.
Kuna wengi ambao ni wagonjwa, kuna shida kama ya pesa zao zile wanapewa katika uzee haziwafiki, kuna mashida kama ya NHIF na kuna mashida zingine ambao wengine wajengia kwa system. Na tungeomba serikali, because now tuko na serikali mpya, ombi letu ni moja, tuwezeshe na tusaidie wale ambao wako katika system, tuongeze wale ambao wako nje. Na number 2, tusaidie wale ambao kwa kadi zao wamepatiwa ni kweli. Na hatuna shida, tunashukuru sana serikali kwa kutupatia hizo nafasi za NHF kwa wale watu wazee. Tunaomba watusaidie hizo pesa wanawekea. Ukwambia mama mzee ama baba mzee, ukimpatia hiyo kadi aanze kujilipia, wengi wao huwa wanashindwa sababu wako na shida ya mwili, wengine ni wagonjwa waweza kujifanyia kazi. Tunaamini ya kwamba kufika hiyo mzee apatiwe hiyo pesa ama apatiwe hiyo kadi ni kutoka miaka 70 and above. Na huyo mama hakawezi fanya kazi ya kuinama, hawezi fanya kazi ya kulima. So ni vizuri tukifanya kazi tukiwa pamoja ama tukiwasaidia na hizo kadi, serikali iwawekee pesa. According na wale wazazi tuko na wao wamekuwa aged for now, watoto wao wengi hawakusoma. Watoto hao walilose hope sababu ya kukosa makazi. So mimi wale nimedili na unakuta cases mingi watoto wao ni walevi chakali. Kwa hivyo huyu mtoto mkikaa naye chini muulize shida ni nini, nakwambia nilikosa kusoma, nilikosa kazi. So mimi siwezi saidia mama yangu. Sasa ndio ile kusahau anaenda na kunywa. Unakuta sasa naye mzazi amekasirika, amemlaani, amemwambia usiweke nyanga huku, uende na huko na usiwahi rudi. Unakuta katikati ya mzazi na mtoto hakuna ile uhusiano, hakuna ile upendo.
Imagine someone expecting that cash, it's no longer available, and with the hunger that is now hitting our communities, we've seen mitigation efforts, we've seen relief food distribution and ending relief food distribution in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. But that fund is also supposed to cushion the groups further. It's a cushion to them. Last financial year, Uhuru Kenyatta government allocated 8.8 billion for, actually people enrolled there are almost now 1 billion for the last 8 years. Communities, but they got the funds. Somehow in the middle, things have happened. What exactly is going on? Because I think that question needs to be asked. And I have seen a petition by some organization asking for the Inua Jamii Fund. What exactly happened? Why this should worry us is because we've seen a consistent pattern where maybe projects that are siphoning public funds and taking to people's pockets are just cut. We know Kazi Mtaani was just to give people money. Literally, that is what it was. It died, natural death. And we are now seeing subsidies on products withdrawn. Education subsidy, there is also another subsidy in education that is going to be cut. Now, this is one of the other projects that is also giving people money. And I asked this question in one of my analysis. Why are we withdrawing services from the people? It's no longer about President Uhuru Kenyatta. There is continuity. This is the government to ask. I know there were people asking, so hawajapata October and July. Fine. But who are we supposed to ask now? Are we now supposed to ask President Uhuru Kenyatta where he is, that Uhuru, these people didn't receive this money in July and you were in government by then, why not? The question is asked to the current administration. Did we get so obsessed by talking and handling hustlers until we forgot really people that are at the lowest part of the pyramid? If you ask me, the vulnerable community, the people living with disability, the elderly, hawa watu ndio wako chini ya hiyo pyramid. Kama ni bottom up, hawa ndio wako hapo bottom sana, wako hapo chini. And I don't know who is advising. I don't know what exactly is happening. I wish that it's not stopped, that's just a corruption or something is still going on. I've seen, I think, a response saying that Treasury are the ones that are supposed to release the funds. Why is it not been released? Does it require supplementary budget? Then let's go to Parliament and include it in the supplementary estimation. Because I know President William Ruto is going, I think they did a supplementary in November. Nothing stops them from doing another one before even reading of the next budget of the next financial year. So we need to really ask these questions. What exactly is happening? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. Thank you very much for those who support us from different parts of the world. Asanteni sana, and also Merry Christmas to you and your family. Yes, I receive your support. Yes, thank you. President Ruto should understand one thing and acknowledge, I know he understands, but should acknowledge that this money, if it is in the tune of 8 billion, 80% of that cash transfer mostly goes to a household expenditure. This means is how wazee watanunua skari, mzee atanunua chumvi, mzee atanunua unga, mzee. That money is not going to save, and mostly hautawaona kama wao ndio wanajilipia even NHIF. Most of them don't go. In fact, mostly it goes back to the economy. Part of it will go to household expenditure. Wataenda wakule nini. The other one ataenda jitibu nayo, akona shida ya macho, ataenda hospitali jitibu nayo. Those who pay NHIF and are enrolled in NHIF, they're going to pay. So that's also a saving that goes back to the government. So what am I simply saying? This money gets injected back in the economy, and it will balance the equilibrium with the other financial interventions that we've put across. You know, we've seen, we want people to have money in the pocket. Actually, that is the campaign platform, that we want the Kenyan people to have money in the pocket. There's some people that cannot work, they must just be supported. And that is the group. So Inua Jamii is a very ambitious project that cannot and should not really be underestimated. This was President Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. This will go for Hustler Fund. And you know what that means? They can't pay. They're not going to take it for business. They'll just take it because they don't have any option. I'm very sure akienda kwa line ya chief and is told that money is not there. You know what he does? He simply try a Hustler Fund. Atambia mzee jaribu hii. And they will take it. They'll grab whatever is available. I think when Citizen TV was running that story, another mama, she was really making a very heartbreaking statement saying, wakati tulikuwa na Uhuru, tulikuwa tunaipata, sasa hii William, atuangali, you know, this elderly senior citizens are gonna curse you. If someone is sitting on this money, the elders that are supposed to benefit are cursing you. So if you are an elected leader, utaenda kutafuta kule kesho na usishinde, kumbe wale wazee walikukas. So if someone is really doing this money should be availed. It should be availed even before Christmas. Does it require supplementary budget? So be it. Social Protection Fund. What we should do is to make sure that it's also anchored in the Constitution, just like CDF and other affirmative action funds. We should have it somewhere. Whether we are going not to put it, I think Inua Jamii is a social protection project. I don't know, maybe it was funded by some donors or by the taxpayers' money, I'm not sure. But what stops the government of the day to just find out even if it was a pilot. It's not a pilot because it was going on for 8 years and it's been supporting, it's bridging the gap in the community. So just like we have CDF and MPs are rushing to make sure that CDF in the constitution, no, never again should a Supreme Court or rather court say that it's unconstitutional. We should also make sure that in the amendments that we are now trying to sneak to Parliament, we also include, even if it's not in Wajami, but a social protection fund for the vulnerables, and it should be in the constitution, so that within at the budget making process, it finds its way there. We may already have the estimation on how exactly we are going to fund it. Because otherwise, what I see here is, if it is not anchored in the constitution, then we are going to have a lot of projects that are really helping the people that will be cut short under what is called austerity measures. And if there was austerity measures to cut government budget by 300 billion, could it be that we also scrapped off that? Did we scrap off Inuajami? And honestly, some of us in urban, and even people who can afford a bit, will really feel good and are comfortable if that tax, a lot of it is being stolen up inje with the people in the offices. A lot of it is stolen, stashed in offshore accounts. But the little that taxpayer can go to help an old mama in Turkana, that should be it. Now this one, no. You can, the hustlers are getting the loan if they're taking the hustler fund to do business. How about the vulnerable? They can't do business. Termination of some of Uhuru projects, we need to appreciate that they're a bit interruptive. They're interrupting a lot of stuff, bit disruptive, and we must create a buffer. If we want to interrupt, if we want to scrap off a project, I think as government, we must have a buffer. I'm talking of we because we are all in government, regardless of who you voted. Government is for all of us. So that's why I'm taking the pronoun we. We're all in government. So let's sort out these elderly communities, guys. These guys are really going through a lot. If you watch these stories, and you know, the administration should also acknowledge that there are NGOs that are also supplementing these efforts. If they're not seeing the input from government, I have 2 organizations I think I know. If they're not seeing the input from government, then what are they going to do? Even them, they're going to cut off their support, because the rationale for their fund projects is to supplement what the government is doing. So without that, honestly, they cannot, because the little they're giving cannot be enough. And someone should just tell this administration, if someone is sitting on this money should be released. 2,000 shillings per month to an old woman in the village. I'm telling you, it's not small money. If you normally send money home, just look at your dependency ratio. In fact, it will reduce the dependency ratio. It's unasotu kama napata kadhao mbili this month, if he gets it, if you've been giving him some 1 dhao, you'll give him some, if you're giving him some 2 dhao, hata kuombaomba utampatia 15 atatulia. That's my take, and I don't know what you think, guys, on this Inua Jamii project.